I'm just going to go to the resolution, and I want to talk about Illinois taxpayers and job creators, because Illinois taxpayers and job creators should be very nervous about what's happening in the body here today. I asked in committee about the language of this amendment and how it maintains the same 8-to-5 ratio between individual and corporate rates, and under this new proposal that remains. So I asked that because I want to understand what parameters could be placed on this approach. So I asked the questions about maybe limiting the number of brackets there could be. How many different rates could we charge Illinois taxpayers? Should be a cap? Should there be a cap on the highest rate Illinois taxpayers pay on their income? I think that'd be a reasonable thing to ask if we're actually going to do something strange here and actually protect taxpayers. There's not even a cap on the ratio between the highest and the lowest rates. That would be an appropriate protection for Illinois taxpayers. Heck, there's not even a requirement that the top income earners pay the highest rate. That's not in here. Under this constitutional amendment, this General Assembly could actually find out what the highest earning Illinois taxpayer is this year, set a bracket for that level of income, and set a specifically, truly confiscatory rate well into double digits for that one person, because we aren't protecting any taxpayers in what's being presented today. And like we've said for years in this body, how about property tax reform? One of the things we know drives Illinois taxpayers to other states. Is there a cap in here? Is there any kind of relief, any reform whatsoever? Is there even a real approach we could take? We could consider setting a rate like 1% like Indiana does on the home values, but that's not here either. There is no taxpayer protection in this constitutional amendment. Taxpayers should be concerned. What this does do is open the door. It opens the door to rate changes that could occur anytime this body chooses to do that. I know that my friend, the sponsor, does not want to discuss that part of it. I think that it's real. We've seen it happen before, ladies and gentlemen. When there was a flat tax and it's supposed to be harder to raise taxes, the lame ducks did it in 2011, and it was a heck of a tax increase. We went from 3% to 5% retroactively. You think that can't happen on a certain set of brackets in the future? Don't kid yourself. When it comes to compliance, understand the wealthy are the most able to move, and they're the most able to create tax shelters to hide their income. New Jersey, New York have all seen this before and had to deal with this in a hard way. We're aiming for the same problems that they already have shown. And I always talk about small business when we talk about something this big and this important on the floor. It was mentioned that a stable state government would be an important thing for taxpayers who are also small business owners. I agree, it's a part of it. What's really important to them is stable income tax rates, so they can invest and plan for their business, their future accordingly. We are taking those protections away with this constitutional amendment today. Job creators need to know that there are no protections in this constitutional amendment for them. We talk about fair versus unfair. It's been said this is a regressive tax we have right now. It's on the backs of the most vulnerable. That's because our property taxes are taken into account. Again, no measures for protection against property taxes. Nothing. Not a thing in this bill. I agree with the sponsor's statement that we have a problem with the ability to manage finances. This bill also does nothing to address that unless you consider spending more money, like most people can't do in their actual lives, a way to actually manage finances. We are taking the wrong turn. We're taking the wrong turn because it's not fair to Illinois taxpayers to change what they pay until Illinois government shows they can actually manage the finances that we already have. Our neighboring states are going opposite directions of what we're doing today. And it's a false choice that there's only two choices here, flat or graduated. There are lots of reforms we could take. This is going to hurt Illinois business. It's going to hurt Illinois taxpayers. Please vote no.